Hello, beautiful people. Hello, courageous, amazing, incredible people. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video of Read With Me, another session of Read With Me, because I'm really loving these Read With Me sessions. I'm calling them sessions because every single time we read a chapter, I do share some insight that came while reading the chapters. And I think that's a really valuable asset to anyone reading or listening to this audio, plus having the book with you and following as you read and you have the physical book. Science proves that by having a physical book and listening in to what you're reading, you are able to retain the information a lot faster, a lot quicker, and you're able to understand something better than just maybe possibly reading it on your own. Because sometimes maybe when you're reading, and it has happened to me, where I'm reading it, and then something really stood out to me, and I may have to read it twice, But when you're listening to the actual words being read to you and you're following along as you're seeing the words, you start opening up the different portals within your brain to take in and retain more information faster, more efficiently. So it's a very dynamic thing. So we absolutely love reading as a tool, because one of the common denominators that billionaires have, and we study billionaires here at Billionairette, they all read. Some of them read 4 books a week, or 4 books a month, which is 1 book a week. They don't depend on just audio books. That's a key thing. They don't depend on just audiobooks. And I know a lot of us that are, in a day-to-day routine, or we have a business, we have a family, we have kids, we have this, we have that. We might feel like we can't just sit down and read. And I was definitely one of those people that believed that. And it wasn't until we took a very strong shift within our lives to improve the wellness and the well-being of our personal freedom and our financial freedom, that we committed to taking these tools, these books, seriously. Because we do have a library of books and it looks really nice to look at, but now I'm looking at books in a whole different way. Like I never was a person to go to the store, go to Barnes and Nobles, pick up a book, buy it, read it, highlight it. I don't know. I never took the time to actually do that. But now I'm looking at it as like, this is my time. Like, I'm going to go read. I'm going to sit. I'm going to really dig into this book, and I'm going to take these secrets and I'm going to just fill my soul with them. What a difference in perspective, right? So if you're here with us right now and you're literally like, you know what, I feel the same way. Like, I love having a physical copy, plus I love listening in. Go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and share this video. If you haven't yet subscribed, I highly encourage you to subscribe to this channel. We're going to be posting a lot more content, not just Read With Me sessions, but more on the crypto side. We're going to be introducing interviews with experts, and we're just going to be able to grow this community in a very organic way, which we absolutely love. So we're going to dive into step number 5, which is chapter 15 of this book. There's 7 main steps that Robert's talking about, that if you look at these 7 steps as tools, you will be able to acquire great financial freedom. Great financial freedom. And that's what we're here to do. So it's a pretty short chapter. And I'm so excited to get this in with you guys because we're pretty much done with this book. So little sad moment, yes, but shall we? Let's get into it. Cheers to you. Cheers to your family. Cheers to the amazing growth that is coming your way, that you're currently going through, and most importantly, the amazing, amazing abundance that's heading your way. So, salud. Okay, step number 5, seek mentors. A mentor is someone who tells you what is important and what is not important. I like that. The one who guides you to places who have never been to before. Who guides you to places you have never been to before? A mentor is someone who tells you what is important and what is not important. Mentors tell us what is important. Okay. The following financial statement from the Cashflow board game was created to be a mentor. It trains people to think like Rich Dad thought and points out what he considered to be financially important. My highly educated dad, but poor dad, thought that a job with a high salary was important and that buying your dream home was important. He also believed in paying bills first and living below your means. My rich dad taught me to focus on passive income and spend my time acquiring assets that provide passive or long-term residual income. He did not believe in living below your means. To his son and me, he often said, instead of living below your means, focus on expanding your means. To do that, he recommended that we focus on building the asset column and increasing our passive income from capital gains, dividends, residual income from businesses, rental income from real estate, and royalties. Both dads served as strong mentors for me as I grew up. The fact that I chose to follow the financial advice of my rich dad did not lessen the impact that my poor dad had on me. I would not be who I am today without the strong influence of both of these men. Reverse role models. Just as there are mentors who are excellent role models, there are people who are bad role models. In most instances, we all have both types in our lives. So for example, I have a friend who has made more than $800 million in his lifetime, but today he's bankrupt. I have had other friends ask me why I continue to spend time with him. The answer to that question is because he is both an excellent role model and an excellent reverse role model. I can learn from both role models. One teaches me what to do, while the other serves as an example of what not to do. Spiritual role models. Both of my dads were very spiritual men, but when it came to money and spirituality, they had different points of view. For instance, they interpreted the meaning behind the love of money is the root of all evil. Extremely different. My highly educated but poor dad felt any desire to have more money or to improve your financial position was wrong. Let me repeat that over. That his poor dad said or felt that any desire to have more money or to improve the financial position that you're currently in, it was considered wrong. Okay. On the other hand, rich dad believed that temptation, greed, and financial ignorance, that's what was wrong. In other words, rich dad did not think money by itself was evil. He did believe that working all your life as a slave to money was evil. And to be in financial slavery to personal debt, now that's evil. My rich dad often had a way of converting religious teachings into financial lessons, and I would like to share one of those lessons with you now. Ooh. Let's get into it, y'all. He's about to get into it. The power of temptation. Rich Dad believed that individuals who worked hard were chronically in debt and lived beyond their means were poor role models for children because they gave no temptation and greed. He would often draw a diagram like the following and say, "And led us not to temptation," as he pointed to the liability column. That's funny. "Let us not into temptation," which is the liability column. That's funny. Rich Dad believed that many financial problems came from the desire to possess items that had little value. When credit cards arrived, he foresaw that millions of people would go into debt, which would eventually control their lives. We see people going into tremendous personal debt for homes, furnishings, clothes, vacations, and cars because they lack control over the human emotion called temptation. Today, people work harder and harder to buy things they think are assets, but their spending habits will never allow them to acquire real assets. Rich Dad would then point to the asset column and say, "But they deliver us from evil." This was Rich Dad's way of saying that delaying gratification, a sign of emotional intelligence, delaying gratification is a sign of emotional intelligence, aka minding your own business or building your asset column first would actually help you to avoid the degradation of the human spirit caused by temptation, which is the lack of financial education. And also, in other words, temptation is the influence of financially poor role models. Strong. For those of you seeking your own personal fast track, I can only caution you to be careful about the people you surround yourself with. So ask yourself, are they good role models? If not, I suggest you spend more time with people who are heading in the same direction that you are. If you cannot find them at work, look for them in investment clubs, network marketing groups, and other business associations. Find someone who's been there. Choose your mentors wisely. Be careful from whom you take advice. If you want to go somewhere, it is best to find someone who has already taken that journey. So, for example, if you decide to climb Mount Everest next year, obviously you would seek advice from someone who has climbed the mountain before. However, when it comes to climbing financial mountains, most people get advice from people who are stuck in financial swamps. Ooh, damn. Strong. Robert coming in with the shots. Coming in with the shots. If you're looking to climb Mount Everest next year, you would obviously be seeking advice from someone who has climbed a mountain before. Duh. But when it comes to climbing the financial mountains, most people get advice from people who are stuck in financial swamps. Put it in the comments if you know Robert went in on that one. That was a good one. All right. It is hard to find mentors who are B's and I's. Most people giving advice about those quadrants and about money are people who actually come from the E and S quadrants. Rich Dad encouraged me to always have a coach or a mentor. He constantly said, professionals have coaches, amateurs do not. For example, I play golf and I take lessons, but I do not have a full-time coach. This is probably why I pay money to play golf instead of getting paid to play. But when it comes to the game of business and investing, I do have coaches, several of them. Why? Well, because I get paid to play those games. I like that. So choose your teachers and mentors wisely. It is one of the most important things you can do. And then he has 3 main points. to take action. Okay. Number one, seek mentors. Find individuals in both the investment and business arenas who might act as mentors to you. A, seek out role models, learn from them. And then B, seek out reverse role models and learn from them. Number two, who you spend your time with is your future. Write down the 6 people you spend the most time with. Remember that the qualifier is who you spend the most time with, not the nature of your relationship. All your children count as one person. Don't read any further until you have written down your 6 names. I have my 6 names. Okay. I was at a seminar many years ago when the instructor asked us to do this. He then asked us to examine the names we had written down and announced, you are looking at your future. The 6 people you spend the most time with are your future. These 6 people you spend the most time with may not always be personal friends. They may be your coworker, spouse, children, or members of your church or other social groups. My list consisted of coworkers, business associates, and rugby players. It was pretty revealing once I began to look below the surface. I gained insights about myself that I liked and even more that I didn't. The instructor had us go around the room and discuss our list with others. After a while, the relevance of the exercise began to sink in even deeper. The more I discussed my list with other people and the more I listened to them, the more I realized that I needed to make some changes. The exercise had little to do with the people I was spending my time with and everything to do with where I was going and what I was doing with my life. Today, the people I spend the most time with are all different except for one. The 5 others on my earlier list are still dear friends, but we rarely see each other. They are great people and they are happy with their lives. Their removal from my list was all about me. I wanted to change my future. To do that, I had to change my thoughts and the people I spent the time with. Their removal from my list was all about me. I wanted to change my future. And to do so, I had to change my thoughts and the people I spent time with. That's strong. If you currently have a list of people that, you're kind of second guessing whether or not they align with where you want to be, it's time. Okay. In your list of 6 people, after each person's name, list the quadrant they operate from. Are they an E, S, B, or I? If they are unemployed or retired, list the quadrant they earned their income from when they worked. Leave a blank for young children and students. A reminder, the quadrant reflects the way the person generates the majority of their wealth or their income. A person can have more than one designation. So for example, my wife, Kim, would have a B and an I next to her name since she generates income from each. My list would have Kim at the top since she and I spend almost all of our time together. And then number 4, the next step is to list each person's level as an investor. Please refer to the chapter 5, the 5 levels of investors. Kim is a level 5 investor. If you do not know a person's investor level, do your best and take an educated guess. I have had mixed reviews from people about this exercise. Some people get very angry. I have been told, how dare you ask me to classify the people around me? So if this exercise has caused any emotional upset, please accept my apologies. It is not intended to upset anyone, but is designed to shine some light on individuals' life. It does for me, and it did for some, but not for everyone. Wow, that's the first time that Robert was like, hey, accept my apologies if that hurt you. I can see how people can get angry, but this is a really, really great exercise. So let's continue. When I did this exercise years ago, I realized that I was playing it safe and hiding. I was not happy where I was, and I used the people I worked with as the excuse for why I was not making progress in my life. There were two people in particular with whom I argued constantly, blaming them for holding our company back. My daily routine at work was to find their faults, point their flaws out to them, and then blame them for the problems we had as an organization. After completing this exercise, I realized that the two people I was always bumping heads with were very happy where they were. I was the one who wanted to change. Instead of changing myself, I was pressuring them to change. After doing this exercise, I realized that I was projecting my personal expectations onto others. I wanted them to do what I did not want to do. I thought they should want and have the same things I did. Clearly, they were not healthy relationships. Once I realized this, I was able to take steps to change myself. Take a look at the cash flow quadrant and place the initials of the people you spend time with in the appropriate quadrant. Then put your initials in the quadrant you're in a present. Next, put your initials in the quadrant you want to operate from in the future. If the initials are all primarily in the same quadrant, chances are you are a happy person because you are surrounded by like-minded people. If they are not all in the same quadrant, you may want to reconsider making some changes in your life. Wow. Okay, so put this in, make this little chart here, start making a list of the people that are in your life, the 6 main people in your life, and just get it in. I never actually wrote down the people that I never actually did this exercise. Interesting, like actually writing out where they are, how they are going. Are they in alignment to where I'm going? I never have done that exercise. I've thought about it and then I took action. But I think writing it down can actually allow me to see the chessboard better. But in all cases, I hope you got a lot of value out of this particular chapter. It was step number 5, which is seek mentors. So basically, he's going over the entire importance of that a mentor is someone who tells you what is important and what it is not important. So get it in, y'all. It's time to make it happen. See you in the next video. Hit like, comment, subscribe, share with everyone. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Do what you got to do. All right. Just like it. See ya.